About a year ago, we made a video on palm tree accidents. The title on the thumbnail said Death by Palm Tree. If you saw it, you were probably thinking that it's clickbait. It's not. The reason we made that video is because that scenario continues to happen even till today. About 2 weeks ago, there was a man in Bakersfield, California, who was trimming a palm tree and it collapsed on him and he died. It was on the news, on the channel. Fire rescue were trying to rescue him, but it was more of a recovery than a rescue. A few days after that, the grown children went to the accident site, and one of the daughters asked the question, or she said that there should be regulations when it comes to tree trimming palm trees. And you know what? There are regulations. The American National Standard, and TCIA, Tree Care Industry, they've just updated the A300 pruning standards. And in that, there's a section that reads that if you're going to be trimming palm trees, the dead fronds and skirts should be trimmed from above, or shall be trimmed from above and downward. Now that actually, it's in the new standards, but I recall that it was probably about 15 years ago when they put that in the standard. And the reason they put it in the standard is because so many people have been passing away when they're trimming these palm trees. So we were hoping to, with these videos, to bring awareness to people, and not just the trimmers, but maybe the homeowners and business owners, so these type of scenarios won't happen. What next I'd like to do is go over to a palm tree and kind of explain what I saw in the video clip. It did appear that that trimmer in Bakersfield, he entered a tree from underneath the fronds, and I kind of want to give you guys a better idea of what it's like when you do that. I'll start at the base of a palm tree. Now, a lot of palm trees grow in this way. You can see the pattern. So there's a base, and they're all connected together with fibers. And if you grab these, they really don't move. They're stuck solid in the tree, and they wrap all the way around. So the way it wraps, it's almost like you ever seen those Chinese finger traps? It's kind of like that. Okay, and you imagine that when there's leaves on it, it can become a lot more heavier. So at the base, they're really tight, they're solid on the tree, and they won't come off. Now the problem is when you go higher. So we looked at the base, and those are really solid, and you can't yank them off even if you tried. And even if you had like a razor blade and you cut them, it takes some time even to pull those off. But now that you were at the base, and if you were in spikes and you were lanyard in, and you start working your way up the tree, if you start working up the trunk, you can see a spot where the fronds look like they're disconnected. And so not just at that part where it looks disconnected, below that, there's going to be an area where they're loose. And if when you're working your way up and you're working on the solid fronds and then you cut it, now that entire area that's above you will slide down like a cylinder and trap you. And it could be hundreds of pounds. And once you're trapped, there's nothing you can do. What I want to show you next is what it looks like if you're trimming with spikes and in the palm and working your way up. Imagine that you're going to start from the bottom. So I would have spikes on my feet, I have a harness and a lanyard, and a chainsaw connected to my belt with a leash. So I'd come up to the palm tree and I'd work my way in and I would push. You can see how dark this is. So these fronds are like 5 feet long, and in order to get to the part you're going to cut, you're going to be like here, you'll be standing here, so you'll be lanyard in, and it's dark all the way around you, you can't see a thing. You're going to get your chainsaw, you'll start it, and then the exhaust is going to be in your face, and then you're going to start cutting in the dark until you can cut a window. Once you cut a window, now you're going to cut around in a circle, and then you're going to start working your way up. Now say you go about maybe 20 feet or so and you continue, and now you're going to reach the part where it's soft. You're going to, if you don't know about this, you're going to cut that soft part, and then the weight of all those fronds slide down and collapse on you. It's already dark in there, and now that it's come down on you more, you can't move. Some people are pushed backwards, or they are pushed down in this direction, they really can't move. So what happens is now the fire department's going to have to come and rescue you, and their ladder, if they can't reach where the palm tree's at, it may more likely be a recovery. If they can enter the tree and work their way downward, there's a good possibility that person could survive. But in trimming from underneath, it's one of the worst ways to do it. There's been regulations on it. We want to spread the word so people are aware of it, and hopefully that this doesn't happen. The standard nowadays on trimming palm trees is to trim from the top down. Whether that be a lift truck or another method, there's something called the SRS system, a stationary rope system, where they throw the ropes over the palm tree and they climb from the bottom and pass all the dead, and they get to the top and they trim downward. Also, there's a double rope technique that they can use where they throw the rope over the tree and put a false crotch as a pulley, and they pull that back up, and then they have a double rope system. So they'll walk up the tree over the dead palm fronds, they'll get to the top, and then they'll start trimming their way downward. Now those are really the acceptable ways to trim palm trees. And if the people that you're going to hire aren't doing that, and they're going to go from underneath, that's not the best scenario, and things like this can happen. There are people, if you're a homeowner or a business owner, you definitely want to look into hiring people who have a license and insurance. And a lot of times when you hire people like that, the people that work for them are more likely going to be certified, or maybe the owners will be certified and they'll understand this work, and they're more likely going to do it the proper way, rather than hiring somebody who really doesn't have the knowledge. They can be in the business for years, but maybe they've never come across this scenario, and it's really a well-known fact nowadays, and that's why we have regulations that don't allow us to trim from underneath. So we want to make you guys aware of this scenario. Also, there's a website, it's the California Public Health. On their website, they have an area where you can look at palm tree accidents, where there's reports and they show it, the description of everything that happened in previous accidents. We'll leave a link in the description so you guys can see that. So hopefully you guys are safe. You're more aware of this. You guys spread the word so people aren't having this happen to them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.